Afternoons with Matt on 100.7 The Bay here with Art Alexakis from Everclear. We got to speak earlier in the week, which was a lot of fun, and now we're on site here at Power Plant Live before you guys take the stage with Marcy Playground and Jimmy's Chicken Shack. And one of the things we spoke about earlier in the week is that this show is just like 90s in a bottle, which I love. And you started that tour, the Summerland tour, I believe it was called, that was kind of that like nostalgia fest of the 90s era, and can you just talk a little bit about that?
I think some people call it the nostalgia fest. To me, it's just, I think a certain amount of nostalgia is healthy.
Yeah.
Connecting and positive things. But, all the bands that I took on Summerland and now I take on our fall tours, the 90s bands, they're 90s bands and they have hits.
Right.
They have hits, and that's a big thing. As you get on and on, you look at contemporary music, try to find acts that have more than one hit.
Right.
You don't see it anymore. It's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, all the bands that I pull out are real bands. They tour. Right. They're not just sitting home waiting for the royalty checks.
Right.
Yeah. So they're real bands that are out there. So the main thing is you're going to get a great rock show with great bands that have hits and a lot of great songs, and it's just fun. And if you're into 90s, great. If you're not, if you're just into rock and roll,
right,
you're gonna dig it.
You've been at it for so long, and something that we talked about when we spoke earlier on the phone was your songwriting style always being so personal and introspective, and you're very much a very real artist in that regard. How important is it to you to keep that artistic kind of wavelength going and working on new stuff, but still kind of appreciating the hits that you've had throughout your career?
Well, thank you for saying that. That's some very nice words. As far as introspective goes, I'm not so sure. I'm a storyteller.
Right.
I'm an old school storyteller, so I like singing and writing songs from the first person.
Right.
It's more personal, it's more visceral, it's more immediate. That being said, a lot of people think all my songs are autobiographical. They're not. I'd say about 30% of them are.
Okay, that's an
Father
interesting
of Mine,
thing, yeah.
I'll Buy You a New Life. There's about a third of them are. Another third are things I take from my life, and I take different things and I create a character, like in the song Wonderful. That's a good example of that. And then there's songs I just write.
Right.
And one of those songs I just wrote is just my feelings of being, like away from home where I grew up, but it's more about comfort zones. My comfort zone where I grew up was Santa Monica, so I wrote a song about comfort zones that wasn't autobiographical, but the characters in it are doing whatever they're doing, but it's things that we could relate to.
Right. We
could all relate to. So I'd say 30% are autobiographical, and I'm talking about Santa Monica, of course, and another 30% are kind of composites made, and the other 30% are just written songs. Song I'll do tonight probably, that is the title track to the album that we're celebrating 25 years of, is Songs from American Movie Volume 1, Learning How to Smile.
Right.
That song, Learning How to Smile, is one of my favorite songs I ever wrote. I think it's more real and true, and I just made it up. and I think the thing is, if I can do it and you, the listener, can't tell the difference,
right,
I'm doing my job.
I 100% agree with that. I think so many people assume that songwriters are being 100% autobiographical, so it's kind of nice to peel back the curtain a little bit and see really where your head's at.
And some people just make everything up, which is what they do. I've lived some life, and I write about it.
Right.
But it also, living life and having that experience and being able to, dive deep down to pull stuff out, I think gives you more wherewithal when you're writing what people would call fiction.
I got you.
But it's still real.
So to kind of change gears a little bit, you've been at it for so long, obviously, touring and everything. And touring life is tough. Everybody that I've ever talked to, it's kind of a grueling experience from what I've been told. And you've been at it for so long. How do you kind of prioritize keeping yourself going and healthy and everything, like while you're out on the road?
Well, I try to eat right when I'm out on the road. I'm not doing a very good job of it right now. I just ordered a bunch of donuts, but for the guys,
Right.
But for the most part, I eat right, and I'm sure I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis like 8 years ago.
Okay.
So I have to exercise. I have to really take care of myself. And touring is grueling, but we're lucky. We're at a place where we're on a pretty nice bus. It's
Right.
pretty. We make it as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
But being away from family and our regular lives is hard. But that's what we're doing right now. We all have to work for a living. We're not independently wealthy. We can't just sit back
Right.
and wait. I've got to work. So.
Can you speak to kind of the what I imagine is a hectic nature of day of show? I mean, you got guys like me coming in and sitting down for interviews with you. You have fans doing meet and greets with you. How do you kind of, you know, fulfill all of those duties, but then still get your head right before you get on stage?
Well, again, it goes back to being able to have a nice bus. So basically, I was napping. I mean, you can laugh about it, but with my MS, I one of the main things with that is fatigue.
Understood. Yeah.
Like I can just be somewhere just feeling normal, and all of a sudden I feel like gravity just increased by like 3 or 4 times because that's my immune system
Right.
screwing with me. So basically, like after we leave here with you guys, I'm gonna go do a meet and greet. Then we got another meet and greet, which we call a grin and grip, which is done by the club.
Right.
I meet a bunch of people. Then I'll go take a nap. Then I get a shower and ready to rock.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time. I know it's, tough day of show. You got a lot going on, so I appreciate you sitting down and hanging out with us. 100.7 The Bay here at Power Plant Live for Everclear, Marcy Playground, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait for it.
Awesome.